Hi everyone. It's August 20th, Monday, and I pull cards for the week. And the first two cards talk about what's the theme of the week, what is it that we need to look at, and the first card is the Star. So this is pointing the direction towards our guidance. We're being guided to pay attention to the synchronicities and the signs, that we're receiving a lot of assistance. It's also telling us to flow, allow the ideas, pay attention to your ideas, pay attention to your emotions, try to stay grounded through this process, and know that what's required of us is to go into a little bit into our inner silence, right? Like, well, a lot. Honestly, we should be doing a lot of it, but that the card, the Five of Wands, is kind of like there's an inner turmoil. There's a lot of energy, a lot of information being downloaded right now, and it feels like chaos. But these are all the elements working very fast, and the five is kind of like we are the fifth element. You have all elements working. You are the fifth element, but somehow if you can go into your silence, you're going to start to understand how to work with all this energy. So our inner worlds are going to feel a little chaotic, a little bit like a lot is happening, even though you're saying to yourself, not a lot is happening in the outer world, but in the inner world, it's like you feel like something is constantly trying to talk to you and you're not really getting it, and saying that you will, just to trust it and to find time to meditate, because there's a lot of higher guidance coming. And then the next card is the Hermit. Again, the need to go into our inner world is being emphasized with the Hermit. It's also telling us that we've been on this journey for a long time, to trust our wisdom, that we are the teacher. And then you have the Four of Cups, which usually means, usually I see the Four of Cups as two things. I see it as us being so preoccupied with something in particular that we're not seeing the gifts and the signs that are coming from other places. So, for instance, let's say that you're obsessing about a relationship not going the way you want to. You're not realizing that there's opportunities coming to you that might be in relation to career and finances, but can also lead you towards the Ten of Cups, which is happiness, and the Empress, which is abundance. She's like Venus. She's love and abundance. So that's one part. It's don't look at what's not satisfying you. Don't look at what is not what's disappointing you, and kind of take a step back and listen to the Star, because she's actually bringing you a lot of information, and you need to look at all things and understand they're divinely guided. The other part that the Four Cups tells us is that there might be a relationship in our lives that we're really not satisfied about, and it's being highlighted here because there is an opportunity in the future for happiness, the Ten of Cups and the Empress, which is abundance in love, abundance in money, abundance in joy. And so start paying attention to your guidance. Then we have the King of Cups. I feel that every time I see the King of Cups, this is a masculine energy that is very balanced emotionally. He is has sovereignty. And I feel that all of us have to kind of start to go into this balanced emotional side. I think so if you're male energy, you need to balance with your female. If you're female, you need to balance with your male energy. And it's also like for us to be, when I look at the king, we need to be calm, cool, and collected, because everything that we've been working towards is going to happen. We have the Ace of Pentacles. It's new beginnings, is auspicious for new beginnings, especially financial, followed by the Victory card. This is the Six of Wands, which means everything that we've done up until now we're bringing home in victory. And it's possible that we can't see this, right? Like, we still cannot see that there is a lot of success coming and that there's victory around the corner. We're still under the influence of the moon. And it's saying the moon doesn't allow us to see things as they are, so that when you see the moon, it's telling you you're not seeing things as they are, but pay attention to your intuition and your dreams, that they are more clear than what you're seeing with your eyes. This is followed by, hold on a second. The two aces, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So lots of aces. This is like really saying that we're entering really new territory here. What is possible for us. The Ace of Swords is being able to take something from creative imagination into the physical. This is about victory. This is saying that we have a lot of higher help, because you see the hood is there, that those are the divine guidance. And the Ace of Wands is telling us we have the power to manifest these ideas. So this is about ideas and manifestation in a big way. And followed with the Emperor and the Queen of Wands. It's like, wow, right? Like, the Emperor is about society, it's institution, it's bringing everything into a way that we can create institutions, corporations, major movements in the physical that has a feeling of an emperor. And the Emperor is balanced by the Queen of Wands. This is also the Queen of Wands means this month. So all these beginnings are happening this month. So pay attention, even if it's the seed that will eventually blossom into this amazing opportunity to create something very lasting and with roots, like a kingdom, like the Emperor. And the Queen of Wands is a balance between the masculine and feminine, because there is that very clever feminine aspect that is influencing the Emperor. So it's very balanced energy that's coming in. Look for that also in the partnerships that you're forming, these people that are coming into your life right now, that there should be a balance between, and you're going to know this intuitively. It's kind of like I sometimes sit in front of someone and I know that that person has what I don't have. And I can feel very clearly that that other person understands that I have what she doesn't have or he doesn't have. And it's a beautiful way to recognize that there is an alchemy when we're getting together with people like that. The next layer of cards, this is really talking about what we've been through. We've done the grieving, we've done the sadness, we've done the Nine of Swords, which is staying up at night, worried about a lot of the things that are required when we live in this three-dimensional life. And it's saying that we're moving out of that. You know, Chariot is escorting us out of those feelings of sadness, those feelings of feeling that life is, the cup is half empty. The Five of Cups is showing there's two upright cups behind us that we weren't able to see, but now we will be able to see that there is a bridge towards a new beginning. And the Chariot is ushering this in very quickly, very fast and furious. And the Chariot is a symbol of victory. It's a symbol of unifying dualities It's a symbol of divine guidance because there's a starry sky over him, and it's a masculine energy. There's a lot of, it's coming fast and furious, and I love the idea of that. I've been saying this, and I'm just dying to see how things are going to turn out. And then there's the temperance, because temperance is saying, get a hold of yourself, really watch, in the same way that all of this energy to manifest is available to us, then we have to be super responsible with how we think while we're in life. You can't continue to be in the energy of, I don't have, I'm, of loss, of grieving, of like that Nine of Swords, where she's up at night and can't sleep because she's thinking of all the things that are going wrong. We can't do that anymore. We need to shift that, because that we're going to manifest whatever we're experiencing emotionally. So temperance is saying, remember, there is higher help, there's angelic help. Remember to flow with what's happening, to pay attention, to ground yourself, to listen to your intuition, and to have sovereignty, have full sovereignty about how you're feeling and how you're expressing yourself and how you're interacting with people, and make sure that you try to stay in the realm of joy, beauty, and happiness, because that's what we're going to manifest based on how we feel. So if you want to have abundance financially, in love, in intimacy, in gifts, then you need to start to feel that way. Like, the state will create the manifestation. And so I was looking for 2 cards to give me an idea of timelines, or how do we end this reading. And I have the 6 of Pentacles, which is always a good card. It means there is going to be help and assistance coming in. So if you've been looking to push forward in some creative ideas, it's telling you that either people are going to start to, out of nowhere, request your services, or there is going to be someone looking to come into a partnership with you. Someone might come in to assist you, wants to support your whatever ideas you have. And then he's holding the scale, which is bringing balance back, especially financially. If you were looking for that, that is what's going to happen. But then you have the Knight of Swords, and every time I see the Knight of Swords, it's kind of like there's going to be a little bit of a sense of anxiety. There's going to be a sense of things happening fast and furious, like the Chariot. And you might be getting messages like this, but don't get swept in. Like, try to stay in a quiet place in your inner world, because we have the Queen of Pentacles, again, in the Española cards, is telling us, once again, even though there is all of this energy of anxiety that might be in the exterior world, you might start to see things happening with a certain degree of anxiety. There might be people that are being triggered and acting in a certain way. It's telling you to stay in your Queen of Pentacles and stay in temperance. And again, temperance is about being calm, cool, and collected, having self-mastery over your emotions, not allowing yourself to get triggered by other people. The Queen of Pentacles is telling you, stay in that feeling of being abundant, stay in that feeling of everything is going to work itself out, because it will. And so, sometimes I get a little ambitious and I want to pull from more decks, and I pull from my goddess cards, and then the High Priestess came out, and her message is feminine influence and inner guidance. And for the men listening to this, the High Priestess, when a man is extremely intuitive, he's in touch with his feminine side. So it's great for women and men. The High Priestess is something that we have both, regardless of gender. We can tap into the priestess. So it's telling you to really pay attention to your inner guidance. This is a time for inner guidance, and this is the time for loving unions and teamwork. So what that tells me, the Two of Cups, is not only about coming together with a divine counterpart in the sense of intimacy. That's a lot of that's going to start happening in a big way coming up. But it's also relationships that are divinely orchestrated. There's an architecture that's been put in place where you're going to start to see that this is not only about intimacy. It's also about the people that we need to come into our lives to push us forward into what we're meant to do. We came here with a very specific task, with a very specific goal, and a lot of it is very divinely guided with the star, starting out with the star from the reading. These people are going to start coming in, so pay attention. And the Five of Cups, again, is watch that part of us that feels unfulfilled, feels that you're looking at things with the idea of the cup is half empty, because we will fulfill our expectations. You need to shift how you feel about it, though. You can't be in the "Oi, nothing ever happens for me." You need to be in the "everything's going to happen for me." You need to start doing mantras like I'm abundant financially, I'm abundant in joy, in love, in intimacy, in gifts, that kind of conversation. And then the last card from the Joanna deck is Stillness, and I'm going to read it. Just before a wave crests and rushes to shore, there's always a still point. This is the moment of stillness at the pinnacle of a cresting wave, just before the onset of another great movement begins. This is where we are. We are at the pinnacle of a cresting wave, just before the onset of a great movement that's beginning now. Advice: allow the momentum to gather, embrace, and then ultimately move you forward. You are at the apex and on the cusp of great flow. Breathe through it. So we have a lot to look forward. This is going to be a great week for all of us. Sending a lot of love, and I'll try to be in touch towards the end of the week with another reading. Thank you.